Oh, okay. I was making sure it was recording. We are back with another DIY. And as you saw previously, we spent a whole lot of time decorating our Christmas tree. Jada didn't get to participate because she was studying for exams.
Yeah.
But I had the privilege of working with this knucklehead over here. So you want to say hi? What's your name?
Steph.
What's your name?
You just said it.
What I did? Okay, her name's Jada, and this is Knucklehead, aka Seth Davis. You want us to call you Knucklehead or Seth Davis?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do today are
Sock
wow. Really? Let's try that again. So what we're gonna do today are
Sock puppies.
not sock puppets, sock monkeys.
Monkeys.
All right. And so this is an extra cute gift to give your little ones. A great stocking stuffer, like we kind of mentioned before, because we just didn't know what to put in our stockings. So we figure we can make some sock monkeys, and then you can make them as gifts. You can wrap them. You can put them in as stocking stuffers. Just cute little things, cute little quick gifts that you can make for your little ones or for your nieces or nephews or whatever. All right, let's get to the tools that you'll need to make your cute little sock monkey.
First, you are going to need a template for the eyes and the ears, and instruction, of course. Next, you are going to need this right here, which is felt for the eyes, actually. Then you're going to need Sharpies so that you can draw out the outlines and the places you're going to cut. And then these scissors so that you can actually cut the things.
All right, and you're going to need your socks, of course. No sock monkey without socks. All right, and then you're going to need some buttons, and these are used for the backs of your eyes, or not the backs of your eyes, that's what the felt is used for, but these are used for the eyeballs. All right, and then you're going to need a needle, and it's just for the little stitching that you'll be doing around the mouth and just to stitch on the different parts of the body. And you will need a ruler. All right, so make sure you have that ruler just so your lines that you draw on your sock are nice and straight.
You will also going to need some batting so that you can make your tail nice and thick and make it sturdy. You're also going to need some cotton to fill the rest of the monkey parts like the head, the arms. You're also going to need some thread depending on what kind of colors you want for your sock or your mouth, stuff like that. You're also going to need a glue gun to glue all the pieces on if you need. And
actually, you're not going to glue all the pieces on. The only piece you're going to glue on with the glue gun, don't go gluing everything on. No, the only piece you're going to really glue on is your eyes. You're going to use your thread, like he said, to sew the rest of your stuff on.
You are also going to need an ironing board so you can flatten stuff down if you need and things like that.
All right, and so when you finish, you will have your cute little sock monkey, and this is ours. We call her Skittles. But we made her a little while ago. This is one of our first ones that we made when we tried to do this. Now, we got all of this and how to do it from craftpassion.com, and I'll post the link below. I'll also post all of your supplies that you'll need below. All right, and I will post all of my information, my blog information, and so if you want to follow me and keep looking at this beautiful face.
Or this one.
Yeah, below. All right, so let's get started on making that sock. We are back. So we all got our pieces. Jada has her socks, and she has her eye pieces that she has already cut out. Seth has his socks, and he's so eager to show you guys. And he also has his pieces that he has cut out. So he's cut out his, now Seth decided to go with the toddler. All right, so when you look at your pattern pieces that you have, one thing I did not mention is the type of sock that you should use is very crucial. You need to make sure that you have a crew sock. All right, and a crew sock is not quite a thigh sock, and it's not an ankle sock. All right, it comes up to about the right below the calf. All right, and that's very important because if you get one too little, then it's not going to be enough material. If you get one too big, it's going to be too much material. You'll have too long legs and too long arms. All right, so you don't want that. So we got everything sectioned out. Everybody has their pieces. Me and Jada decided to go with our adult and teen ears and eyes. And Seth decided, like I said, to go with his little teeny weeny teenichi toddler eyes since he's teeny weeny and teenichi. All right, well, what we're going to do first. Now, you're going to take your socks. And if you notice, you have two socks. One is for the body. All right, and then the other one is going to be for your arms and your legs and all of that. All right, so the first thing that you're going to do is take your socks and you're going to turn both of them inside out. So we're going to do that now. All right, and then once you get your socks turned out, and Seth is a little slow because he's talking, instead of working. All right. Jada's socks actually looks really clean on the inside, but yours may not look. Yours may look like mine with a lot of stuff on the inside, but that's okay because that's not going to show. All right, Seth looks extra weird because he doesn't have a whole lot of, he has a whole lot of detailing on the inside. We both have Argyle socks. All right, so what you're going to do is take your first sock and you're going to fix it so that your heel is pointing up at you. All right, so you're going to position it so that your heel is flat, pointing up at you. All right, and so it should look just like this, and that's my heel, and that's my toe, and then of course this is where I stick my foot in. All right, and then on the other sock, you're just simply going to basically lay it like it does lay normally, and you're going to have your heel pointing to your right. All right, that is how you're going to take it to the ironing board, and you're going to iron that part down with your heel pointing to the right, and then on the other one, you're going to iron it down so that you have your heel pointing up at you. And we'll take you to the ironing board right now and show you how that's done. Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
No? Let's go. All right, so we are at the ironing board now, and like I said, you're going to make sure that one of your heels is pointing up looking at you. All right, and then you're just going to take it and make sure it's flat all on the edges. And then you're going to take your iron and just iron it down. Doesn't have to be perfect. You just wanted to iron it down so it's nice and flat so you don't have to fuss with where your lines are. And then on the other one, like I said, you're just going to make sure that your heel is pointing to the right. And you're just going to iron it down also. All right, guys. So we are ready now to make the body parts of our legs. And what you want to do before you start doing any sewing or anything is to make sure that you get everything marked out, everything cut up. So all you got to do is just put things in place. All right. So the first thing that we're working on is our legs. And remember, you're going to need the one that you lay down flat. All right, with your heel up front. So what you're going to do first is draw your legs on, and the best thing to do is use the line that is, for some people should already be created there. All right, and then what you're going to do is just take your ruler and you're going to draw your two lines on either side of that line going straight down from the heel. All right, so the best thing to do is start maybe a ½ inch under the heel and draw it all the way down. Alright, once you get your lines drawn out, which she has done perfectly, then you're just going to take your line and arch it all the way around just to make the bottom part of your foot. Now guys, this is the line that you're going to use for your stitching line, okay? So that is the whole reason for you even drawing it out before you do it, because you're going to take this to the sewing machine after you finish, and you're going to stitch right along the lines that you've drawn out for yourself. And guys, that's going to be your leg. So we're going to finish up doing that part. And guys, just so you know, the very top of the sock is going to be used for your head and your body. All right, so we're going to get to that in a little bit. But for right now, you're going to put that sock to the side. All right, guys, so now we are going to let Seth show you exactly how you're going to make both of your arm and your tail. We've already got our two legs out of the way. Now all you're going to work on is your ears. And you have the pattern for that, and we'll get to that in a minute. Seth's going to show you where the ears should go on there. All right, and then we are also going to do where your two arms are going to be. All right, and then we're going to also draw out your tail. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is draw out your arm. All right, so Seth is going to draw out your arm now, and again, you just take your fabric marker and just go all the way down, making sure that you do not do your curve with your ruler, but you just go all the way down to the tip of where you will put your leg in. Right, and Seth is going to work on the other side of that next leg. And again, these are just stitching lines so that you know where you're going to need to stitch at. All right, so he's working on one side of his second arm. All right, so now Seth is going to show you where the first arm is. He's already done that first arm and completed it. All right, and now he's working on that second arm for you. All right, so Seth is drawing that second arm for you guys. All right, now he's going to draw that tail. Now the space between the two arms, and he's going to show you those two arms so you know where your two arms are. All right, and the space between those legs, the tail, where the tail is going to be a little bit more of a space than you'd used in between your two arms. So now he's going to show you about where you should draw your tail at. Make sure that you start from right up under where your mouth is going to be, and what that is just the heel of your sock. So you want to make sure that when you start with doing your tail, that you start right up under where your toe part would be, and it's actually defined on some socks, so you know, but that part is actually going to be used for your mouth. So you want to start right up under that part and start drawing your tail going all the way down. Alright, now when you get to the heel, if you look at your sock, then you're going to notice that from the heel, you look all the way across, and then that's where you're actually going to take your ruler and arch it so that you can make sure that you can go all the way down the rest of your sock. So if you notice, you have your arm, your two arms, alright, and now you have your tail. Alright, now we're just going to use our pattern piece, and that is the piece that came with your piece. You're going to use that to trace your ears. Alright, so Seth is laying down his first ear, and he's just going to trace around it, and then he's going to go right up under, and this is the only part at this point that has not been marked on with your marker. So you're just going to use that, and again, go right up under where you would cut out your mouth. Alright, and then you're going to draw one up under the other one. Now we have basically did everything that we need to do for our sock monkey. Alright, so Seth is going to also once again show you your two arms. Alright, and he's going to show you your tail and then your ears. So Seth has finished doing all of his. So what we're going to do is use Jada's just so you can see hers a little bit clearer. Alright, so what we're going to do is point out the two arms to you that you should have traced out at this point. Alright, and your tail, which should be going all the way up, starting from right up under where your mouth is going to be cut out. And again, hers is very easy to see because she can see the blue part is actually your mouth. And then her ears. Alright, and then on the other sock, as we did before, those are just her two leg pieces. And this sock is really going to be the only one that's not completely cut out because this is essentially the body of your sock. Alright, and so what we're going to do now at this point is you're going to go to your sewing machine. Now, these, like I said, are your stitch lines. So the first thing that you're going to do is run your stitch going all the way down around where your leg should be and follow your stitch line and go all the way around to include your foot. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. And then you're going to move that to the side, and on your other leg, you're going to stitch going all the way down your tail. Alright, and you're going to stitch going all the way around your two arms. Alright, once we get that done, then we'll come back and we'll show you how everything looks all stitched up before you actually start cutting things out. Alright guys, so we are done with all of our stitching, and we actually did our stitching in white, so it's going to make it a little hard to see, but we decided to use Jada's just because she did exactly what she was supposed to do, and she used all of her dotted lines, and your dotted lines indicate actually where you're going to be cutting that. And your actual straight lines with no dots indicate where you're actually going to be stitching at. So we did our stitching going all the way down, and what Jade is showing you right now is the leg, the tail. And then on the top you have your ears. We've done those stitching. Alright, and then you actually have your arms, and we've done the stitching around the solid lines. And on your other piece you have your your legs. And we did that stitching, and in the middle you have your dotted line where you're actually going to cut. So Jade is actually going to show you first how to go ahead and cut going straight in between your legs. Alright, so we get our leg piece, and we're actually going to start from the very end where your dotted line starts, and you're just going to cut straight up. Now when you cut straight up and you go all the way up to the top, that's actually going to leave an opening, because once you turn it inside out, you'll need that to turn inside out because it's going to leave an opening. Since she's finished cutting it, now she's going to show you that opening that we're going to use to turn it inside out. We're not going to do that yet, but that is going to be a really small opening. Alright, you don't want to make the opening too small because that's a lot you got to turn in. But if you make it too large, then it's just going to be more that you have to sew up. Alright, so she gave it a pretty good size. Alright, and now we're going to go ahead and move over to our other sock because we're just about through with everything we have to do with that one. And we're going to cut along the dotted lines. And the first thing we're going to do is cut out our tail. Just make sure you stay on the dotted line so you don't have any problems and you don't cut your stitch lines. All right, and make sure you stop right below where your mouth is, and you're going to go all the way down again to so that you can cut out both of your arms. And we're just going to go ahead and work on cutting both of our arms out now. Don't forget, stay on the stitch line. All right, and what you're going to do now is just cut going straight across on your arms and cut both of those out. Put those pieces to the side once you've cut them out. All right, and now again on the dotted line, you're just going to go ahead and cut out your ears. And make sure to stay away from your stitch line and on your dotted line. Ears, you'll just go ahead and put those to the side because there's your cute little ears.
And don't forget also, the top part is supposed to be cut. It's not supposed to be stitched.
All right. And now you're going to go ahead and just cut along the line where your actual mouth is. And in Jada's case, her blue part is going to be her mouth. Some socks, like I said, may not have that outline for you. But if it doesn't, then it still should have some type of guide where you can cut your mouth out. Try not to cut your fingers out in the process. All right, that's your mouth. Or that's your nozzle, rather. That's what they call it. All right, and then just by default, your tail is cut out. All right, you're not going to use that piece that you see for anything. That's just pretty much trash. You can throw that away. Now we're going to start assembling everything. All right, guys, so the pieces that you see are your tail, and you also have your batting. And what you need to do is just spread out your batting and cut it about 3 times the size of your tail. All right, and then you have the body. All right, and you have your head and your legs is attached to your body. All right, and then you have your 2 arm pieces. You have your muzzle or your mouth. All right, and we'll stuff that in a minute. And you also have your 2 ear pieces. And you have the back of your eyes. And the way that we did the back of our eyes is we just took that other piece of the pattern and we traced around it and we cut it out. All right, so the first thing that you're going to do is take your body piece, and that hole that we saw that I showed you earlier, we're just going to use it and we're going to turn the entire thing inside out. Be sure not to split your hole too much. All right, so Seth has turned his body completely out, and the next thing that he's going to do for you guys is go ahead and turn those 2 arm pieces out. And the ears. So we have our pieces all done. The only thing that we did not turn out just yet is our tail piece, and we're going to kind of move that one over because your tail piece, there it is. Thank you, Seth. All right, so what we're going to do now is take our body and we're going to stuff our legs first, and then we're going to move up and stuff our body. Now you don't want to super stuff it because you don't want to have one leg bigger than the other one, or your body too fat or overly fat. So just take a little small amount and just slowly stuff it in until it gets nice and full. All right, so we have stuffed our body and everything is nice and even. And the next thing that we're going to do is stuff our, put our body to the side, and we're going to stuff our arms. So go ahead and stuff those. Now you might have noticed with your batting, or with your polyfill, whatever you're using to stuff it with, it might have came with a stuffer. You can use this, however, be very careful when you use this because you don't want to stick it through your cloth. All right, so go ahead and get a nice and even feel on both of your pieces. And as you're stuffing them, be sure to roll them in your hand so that you can get a nice even feel on it. It'll help push your cotton down as you're going. All right, we'll be right back. Alright guys, so as you can see, we have everything just about stuffed. Now a couple things that we did leave unstuffed so far is your tail. Alright, and so you have your tail piece and your batting piece. And we also left your nozzle or your nose part unstuffed. And we'll get to that in a minute as far as what we need to do. Now what I want to do now is show you first of all how you're going to fold your batting. So you want to get your batting, and some batting may be a little bit easier to work with than the other. I just got kind of a thin batting that resembles cotton, but it's a little bit more strung together so that way it doesn't come apart and you have kind of an even distribution across your tail when you get ready to pack it in. Alright, so what I've done is folded it into 3 pieces. You can kind of see, yes, those 3 pieces that I have it folded into. You want to make sure that you fold it nice and neat so that it's folded together. And you're going to grab your tail piece and make sure, of course, it's inside out. You have not turned that inside yet. All right, so it is inside out. Now, the first thing that you're going to do is line it up, find your opening. And you're going to line it up with your opening. All right, and he's showing you your opening. All right, and then what you're going to do is when you cut your batting piece, you want to make sure that your batting piece is shorter, about 2 inches or 1.5 inches shorter than your actual tail piece. And the reason is because you want to get a nice snug pulled feel when you come through, or when you push it all inside out. So that's usually the easiest way to do it. So first what we're going to do is line up the opening. All right, and you're going to pull that opening apart. And when you sew, you're just going to show a stitch going from one side of the opening. So what we're going to do is grab our needle first. So once you get your batting lined up with your opening, you're going to notice that you have 2 pieces. You're going to have your back piece and your front piece. You are not going to sew going through. What you're going to do is sew from one end to the other. All right, and the way you're going to do that is you're just going to go straight through one piece and your batting in one piece. And if you notice, you did not go through the other side. You just went through one side. All right, and then you're just going to go back through the other side and pull. All right, and then you're just going to do that going all the way across. All right, and make sure that you stitch going from one side to the other. And I'll show you how that looks when you come back. So once you cut your thread, now you're going to do is you're going to attach in the same manner to the other side. Now, so you're going to take your batting and turn it to the other side. You're going to match it up together with your ends together. All right, and you're going to stitch the same way that you did the last time. So you're going to go from one end to the next. Now this side, it does not matter if you go through the other side, because you're at the end, but do make sure that you stitch your batting nice and snug to your sock. All right, if you don't, when you start to pull it through, it'll come apart and then you'll have a bunch of mess and you'll have to redo it all over again. So go ahead now and stitch that other side opening together. And like I said, it does not matter if you stitch both ends, both sides of your sock, but make sure you include your batting in all your stitching. So you have attached it on both sides now. All right, so what we're going to do is take that end that you left one part of it open and turn it to the opened end, and you're going to slowly pull your batting through. Now as you're pulling it through, be careful and make sure that you don't rip your batting, but you're basically just going to turn it inside out and pull that batting all the way through to the other side. What he's doing is he's turned his batting inside out so it's nice and even from one end to the next. All right, now what we're going to do is lay that piece down, and we're going to start attaching all of our stuffed pieces. So we have our body. Now before we start attaching, if you notice in between your legs, you got to stitch them up because you can't have his cotton showing. So we're going to do what's called a ladder. So to do that ladder stitch, you're going to take your needle and you're going to grab you a little fabric on one side. Don't go too far back. And then you're going to grab a little fabric on the other side. And then you're going to pull that needle going all the way through. All right, now this is the part that I said you don't quite pull it all the way through yet. If you notice, we haven't tightened it. We still have a little bit of that stitch showing. So we're just going to continue to do that. Do about 3 stitches and pull. 3 stitches and pull. Grab through some. Grab through a little more. Pull all the way through. Now you're going to take it and pull through and tighten it up. And see how it just kind of closes it up? And then you're going to continue going. Alright, so we have stitched our little man closed. So now he is ready to go. Alright, so what we're going to do now is close up our arms before we attach them to our body. Alright, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to find the opening of your arm. Now, what you're going to do is do you a wide stitch going a wide hand stitch going all the way around the perimeter of your opening. All right, and so what we're going to do is go ahead and do that now. So just go in one side and make sure that you don't get too far down, but you stay away from the opening because this is almost like a drawstring stitch. That's what we'll call it, a drawstring stitch. Sure, there's another fancier name for it though. once you get back around to your knot, and you'll notice here, your knot was on one side, and then you just went all the way around. Now, what you're going to do is tuck and pull, basically. So you're going to tuck in the inside and pull a little bit. Tuck in your edges and get those tucked in nice and good. And once you get them pushed in, then you just tug. All right, see how you closed it up nice and neat? Now what you're going to do is just take your needles and you're just going to do a zigzag stitch going all the way across just to close that up before you attach it to your arm. Go ahead and do that on both arms. Alright, so we have our ears here, and I decided to show you this part because you're going to use a slip stitch for this, and sometimes it can be a little difficult for kids, so you may want to take over and do their ears for them. But basically what you're going to do is just make sure you tuck in all your cotton first of all. Alright, and then you're going to go from one side, and you're just going to tuck it in, and like I told the kids, just basically like you making a sandwich. Alright, and see how I made a sandwich like that, and then you're just going to do a slip stitch. So you're just going to get a little bit and take it from one side, and take a little bit from the other side, but I'm going in a horizontal, and then just pull. Alright, and make sure you hold your sandwich while you're stitching. If you don't, then you'll have to stop and retuck, and you don't have to do that but every now and then. Alright, so I'm just grabbing a little bit from one side, grabbing a little bit from the other side, and I pull. Alright, and then I'm going to retuck. And get me another sandwich. See how I got my sandwich there? Take a little bit from one side. Take a little bit from the other side. And pull. And make sure you pull it nice and snug so your stitches don't come out at the very end. Alright, and once you get it done, like my daughter described, it almost looks like a little bean. That's going to be your ear. So the next step that you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half like that, so it should look like that on one side. And on the other side, you should have your crease going up and down. Alright, and then what you're going to do is do your do a stitch going all the way across and close that up. And go ahead and do both ears the exact same way. So when you finish, it should look like that on one side. Alright, and then it should be closed up on the underside. We'll be right back. Okie doke, so we have got both our little button ears done. Our little booty ears done. Alright, and now what we're going to do is working on placing our the back of our eye on our actual body. Alright, so the first thing that you're going to do is find your little line that is your natural heel line for your sock. And you're going to find the tips and place the tips of your eyes a little over that line. Alright, just like that. Alright, so once you place it on that line or a little above that line, then you want to go ahead and just take whatever color string or needle that you decided to use. Alright, and for this case I'm using gray since the body of his sock puppet is gray mostly. Alright, because you're going to make a decorative stitch going all the way around. Alright, so I'm just going to start, and I put my needle up under my backing, and I'm just going to come all the way up the front. You're going to do the same thing again, and make sure that you go through your backing, and then you go back through your sock. And just make sure that your stitch runs all the way along the edge of your backing. And once you get finished at the end, you're just going to go up under your eye back and just make you a knot. So that that back knot is not visible. And then cut off your thread. Alright, and go back over to the other side and make sure you cut your thread off there also. Now if you have your knot showing, don't worry, because you're going to cover that up with your nozzle in a minute. So that actually won't show. I have my little knot showing right there, but we're going to be covering that up with our nozzle. Alright, so what you're going to do at this point is you're going to add your eyes. We have finished putting on our eye back, and now we are ready to put on our eyes. So what you want to do, like I said, is get you 2 little black eyes, and of course, make sure that they are the same color and make sure they're the same size. And what are you using for these are buttons. Now, you can go to the fabric store and get you some little eye bags, that little googly eyes if you want to. But I just like how these look. They're a little bit better, and plus you already kind of have your eye bags. So the Google eyes will be double eye bags. Alright, so what you're going to do is just take one of your buttons and grab your glue gun. Now you can do this 2 ways. Of course, if you want to sew it on, you can, but make sure if you use your glue gun that you be very careful and don't burn yourself. Alright, so you got your glue gun, and for now we're going to sit that glue gun to the side, but it doesn't matter, just make sure you have a glue gun. And I want to show you that what you want to do first before you start sewing on anything, or even if you decide to use your glue gun like we're doing, is you mark where you're going to put your eyes at. So what we've done is we've marked where our eyes are going to be. Alright, and we've just used 2 little dots and marked it. And that makes it easier just to make sure that they're centered. So you're going to take first your glue gun. Alright, and you're going to put your first little dot on there. And you don't need too much. That's good. Alright, and then you're just going to push your eye on there. Alright, and then you're going to do the same thing to the next one. Alright, so we have both of our eyes on, and we just make sure that you give your glue time to set before you move on to your next. So we're getting ready to do the mouth. Alright, and so what I've done is just kind of drawn out my mouth and where I wanted to go. And I suggest doing that first because it kind of gives you a guide so you are not off or nothing is out of whack. Alright, and then another thing I suggest is this is your mouthpiece. Line your mouthpiece up with your drawing so that it has the round amount of space going all the way around. And then take you some needles and just kind of pin them in place where you want it to end at. And that way while you're sewing, you'll make sure you always have enough space going all the way around. Alright, I'm just going to do that on the other side. Alright, so once you get everything pinned down, you'll notice that you have your little raw edges that are still hanging out. Alright, and the reason, like I said, that we pinned it down is so while you're sewing, you don't have to worry about positioning and making sure that it's in position. Alright, so what you're going to do is just tuck in all of your raw edges as you go. Similar to that. If you notice, I got my raw edges tucked in at the top. And then you're just going to do a slip stitch going all the way around. And make sure you try your best to stay on that line. And you don't have any of your raw edges showing. Alright, so make sure you stay on that raw edge. And you tuck in all of your raw edges and you go all the way around. But right before you get to the other end, alright, start on one end and then go all the way around. But leave you a little opening so that you can stuff your actual nose. So we have our mouth sewn on, and I've sewn it all the way around as you can see. And then what you're going to do next is just go ahead and stuff your mouth so that it's nice and full. And then once you finish stuffing it, then just take your little hole that you have left open and then sew it closed. So we have stuffed our little muzzle here, and as you can see, we left the hole open and then we closed it all up so it's stuffed all the way around. And now we're about to put our little buddy ears on. Alright, so if you see the ears that we have, I have already on the monkey marked where we want our ears to go. Alright, and so you can see where we want those ears to go. Now the best thing to do ahead of time is to go ahead and mark where you want your ears to go, because if you don't, then you just mess up and they'll be all uneven and all that good stuff. Alright, so we got everything on. We got our eyes on. We sewed all the way around. On our the back of our eyes, we sewed our nozzle on, and now we're getting ready to work on our ears. Now what you want to do is take one ear, and you notice one side is the side that you that has the little butt the butt slit on it. And then the other side is the side that you actually sewed closed to make that little crease. All right, so you want to put it face down on top of your first X. All right, and you want to grab your needle. All right, and what you want to do is just doing a slip stitch. You want to sew going all the way around. I would suggest starting at the back first and keeping your ear completely face down where you want it to go, pushing it in just a little bit. And you want to take a piece from your bottom and then take a piece from your top. And then you want to pull it all the way through. And you want to go all the way around the ear doing that. Okie dokie, guys, we are almost done. All we have left to do is put the tail on and to put our arms on. All right, and if you notice, we have finished both of our ears, and we did them and we kept them as easy as possible. As even as possible, so that he didn't look lopsided. So now I have already marked our spaces for our arms, and you can see the little X's. All right, and so now what we're going to do is the same way that you did your ears. Just make sure that you mark your space so that your arms go on straight, and you're just going to sew going all the way around. Now, I wouldn't suggest sewing too high around your ears, because the higher you sew is going to stick up and they're going to look really stiff. All right, so just go as close to your little markings as you can. If you look at these little markings here, just go as close to them as you can. All right, and sew your arms on your markings going all the way around. Shake your booty. Okay, Stone, which we've named him, is very happy because...
Rock.
I'm sorry. It's Rock and not Stone. Okay, so we've named him Stone. Stone, Rock, Element, Mineral, whatever you want to call him. He is almost done and he's excited. That's why he was shaking his booty. All right, so speaking of his booty, it's time to put on his tail. And we, ladies and gentlemen, are almost done once we finish his tail. All right, so you're going to do your tail. Yes, you guessed it, exactly the same way that you have done your hands. I'm not going to bore you with the details. You have not closed up your tail yet. However, you do want to go ahead and do a stitch going all the way around and do a drawstring stitch and close him up and then add him to the back so that your monkey truly becomes a monkey. All right, so go ahead and add that tail, and then we'll come back and we'll do our mouth, and then we'll be done. Shake your booty. Shake your booty. We'll be back. All right, so we have done our tail. We got our arms, we got our legs, we got our ears, we got our eyes. We got everything sewn up. Guess what, y'all? The only thing that we have left to do to make our little man complete, and we're going to call him a man because he's gray, and my son made him, and I doubt he would like to call him a female. So his name is Rock. All right, say hi, Rock. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put his mouth on. Now, his mouth is very simple. All you need to do with his mouth is you should have a little line going all the way across. That's the top of your sock. However, if you don't, you're going to do the same kind of stitch that you did around the eyes. All right, and you're just going to do a simple stitch going all the way across from one side to the other. Now, on mine, I had to do it twice. I went across one time, and then I went back across the other time just to make a nice little stitch going all the way across. All right, that's what you want to do. Now, you can do it one time. Now, if you're using embroidery thread that's a little bit thicker, you don't have to, quilting thread is a little bit thicker. You don't have to do it but one time. However, stop stabbing Rock. However, if you don't have that and you're just using regular thread, then you're probably going to have to go across twice. All right, so go ahead and start doing your stitch going all the way across, and we'll come back once we got that done. All right, guys, we are back, and we had a great time doing our sock monkeys, and they turned out great, and we even named them. What'd you name yours?
Rock.
Leona.
And mine is Blossom. See her little flower there. Anyway, we decided we just named them just to give them a little personality. You can do this with yours. I hope yours turn out really, really great, and I hope your little ones, whoever you decide to make it for, I hope theirs turn out really, really, really great. These are great stocking stuffers, and they're really quick to do, as you saw in the video. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed this quick DIY on some great Christmas gifts. We'll see you next time. Bye. Bye. Say bye.